Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I'm going to talk about breaking barriers and daring to dream as a person, as an individual. So when I talk about breaking barriers, you must be wondering like, what is she talking about? Like, are we talking about breaking a cycle of uh, of generational issues or what? So I'm going to explain. Okay, so when I talk about breaking barriers, I think about how I broke the cycle of transforming my life from being a sore deadbeat loser to a bright futuristic student with a scholarship in hand and also a loan that literally the government could help to waive up once I graduate. So it's not that difficult, okay? Everybody thinks that, oh, that means it sounds really difficult for me to achieve that goal, that sort of motivation to be successful. Actually not. Okay? It's not that difficult if you put in the amount of hard work, the way you work smart with your um, basically how you divide your tasks on daily basis, how do you find a balance, how do you study, how do you do anything could literally determine how you how your grades will come to you as it is. So for example, for me it was not that difficult because I realized from a very early stage, when early stage, not early stage of life, yeah, early stage of when I just started my education, my tertiary education at Sugi, I realized that where are my faults, where are my weaknesses, and what are my strengths, what is good for me, what is bad for me, what are the things that I should surround with and what I shouldn't surround with. So when I figured out all of these things, it made my task a lot more easier. And from there, I was able to divide the task accordingly, and I was also able to back myself off from things that would stop me from achieving the goals that I want to achieve. Okay, so if you want to go about talking about daring to dream, when basically okay, it was pretty easy for me. Okay, daring to dream is not something to do with just having some uh nightmares or some beautiful dreams. It's nothing to do with those. Okay, you must be having a really bad misconception about that for sure. So I'm clearing it out for you. Okay, so when we talk about daring to dream, I'm talking about not just focusing on reality 100%, like 100%. When you focus on reality, obviously you are focusing on what's the real deal that's happening to you. But then you also need to realize that if you don't dream, basically to say that at least the 2%, okay, 98% you focus on the real world, and that 2% you focus on dreaming to achieve your goals, which means to say you need to dream. Like, you need to know, what are my goals, what do I want to achieve, what's the purpose of my life, what is the purpose of my education, why should I come up in life, why should I be successful. So we all think like, nah, it's not important to dream, it's just that some like it's just fancy shit, or it's just useless, you know. I mean, I've got whatever I wanted, I'm basically happy with my life. Well, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. When you dream, you tend to you tend to know what exactly you want more. Okay, now for instance, like our billionaires, millionaires, obviously they would tell you that, you know what, I have had goals. I I made sure that my goals were so strong that I would work day and night to achieve those goals. But what they didn't tell you is, even though they are they are awake and they're working day and night for their goals, is because they know that they know exactly what they want. So basically, what they want is what they have always dreamt of, which is, I know uh, I want to have this business. I want to achieve that business. I want to get as many partners, or I want to get as many consumers to buy my products. I want to achieve a really high target when it comes to finance. That are the kinds of dreams that they have. So when they start strong, right, from a very bottom, okay, it will hit them to the spike, which is good. Though sometimes when we talk about spiking out of nowhere, it's just like, what the hell is going on? Like, how did that person from out of nowhere becoming poor to rich? It's because they work day and night. They are dreaming in the real world. Okay, when you dream and you just feel like, okay, you know what, let the dream fall for me, I'm just gonna wait for it to happen. Are we even living in reality then? That's like the opposite of what I just mentioned. Basically, what you are doing is, you are 98% dreaming and 2% you are trying to expect things to happen out of nowhere. So this is the misconception today's generation students actually go through. Okay, not only students, people in general go through. They are so entitled that they feel that it it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna repeat this back, like I've said in my previous video, that nobody actually bothers to put in the maximum hard work or the effort to achieve their goals. Now if you go and show anybody my video and you go and say like, oh, Aruni said, you know, we have to dream, right? We have to dream, and it's important to dream. The reason is because of the millionaires and how she, you know, how she achieved. Yeah, come on. No, you can stop the cap from there, and you have to actually look into what I have mentioned. Okay, it's important to know what I have said. Okay, don't take a little bit, a small portion of my video and go and show the people and say, you know what, she said for us to let's dream, but you did not watch and listen and hear of that my message is also saying that you have to do 98% of the work and 2% only you dream. Okay, so the misconception, being entitled, you know, it's just the wrong mindset to go about with. Even if, let's say, you want to go around motivating people, you want to go around work, you want to work, you want to have a good mindset in life, in just in general, right? You need to always understand that how you achieve in life, it's how you break the barriers, right? And then how you transform your life to become a better person, and or a better student. How, what are the steps, the measures does it that takes you to walk in that path, how difficult it is. It's not, everybody's path is different, right? Though I said in the beginning, like, yeah, well, my path is straight, I'm not saying that your path is left or right or back or whatever it is. There's no other directions. Everybody's path is straight. If you know how to make the road right. You know, if you, okay, now for, I'm just giving this an example, yeah. Now, when you go on the road, right, what, how does the road go? It goes straight. So people make the road them. Basically, there are road people who actually stay day and night to fix the roads or even build roads for us, correct? So when those people do that, don't you think that at that moment it is it is their hard work, their determination of doing it? So when, if that people are fixing roads, like there are potholes here and there, people are fixing the holes, same goes to your life. And then they're also building the roads for you. Same, you build your own road. Everybody, right? If you use the three support systems that I have mentioned previously, you would understand that how important it is. People nowadays, the generation always thinks, right, like, oh, I don't need these support systems. What do I care? Like I just find it so crazy with the mentality that you guys have nowadays, which is like, why should I care about my parents? Why should I care about basically my mentors? Why should, or my lecturers, my teachers? Why should I care about them? Why should I care about, like, my own religion, my own faith? Why should I care? I can be just an atheist. I can just, do whatever I want randomly. Seriously, if first of all, if religion did not exist, and nobody exists, okay, we all would be shedding blood right now on the roads randomly. Out of nowhere, we're killing people, okay? And that's what's happening right now. The problem with people being entitled, the problem with people being not respectful of one person to another, a person, people who are just feeling that, oh, I'm just having this feeling, right? Feelings. Everything's about feelings nowadays. And then because of these feelings, it's causing a bunch of mental issues that is causing so much of problem for everybody. They are not only causing the problem for themselves, but they're also putting it out there on social media for people to basically become just like them. And then they're influencing the society, basically the next generation of children, to be just like them. And when will this ever end? We are talking about breaking the barriers for children. We are thinking about pushing these children to the future. Once we are gone, who is the next generation of children? They are the ones we want to help them to become better leaders of the country, to become better. The society builds when we have a good citizen, a good individual standing up for the country. And how do we even build this children? When you break barriers, when you dare to dream, when how do you actually slap people on the face, right? People always think that, oh, I need to slap a person on the face, like literally slap them. No. Do not ever slap a person with that. Always slap a person with your education or your intelligence, right? Having an education doesn't mean you have intelligence. There's so many people out there who have education but they're still stupid. Okay? You need to be smart. Like I always say, work smart. No, I did not always say work hard, right? I always say work smart and work hard. Then you'll be able to see your success, and then from there you'll be able to build your own success story. Now, in order to achieve those, everything doesn't happen out of nowhere. Okay? Each person need to absorb, understand, figure things out, fix the potholes in their lives. Obviously, not everything can be fixed. If things happen in the past, Just don't try to repeat it back in the present and the future. If there are roads to build in the future, continue building it. Whatever you have to work on with, right? Work on it. If you feel like, you know what, my grades are bad, okay. You obviously you can't change the present or the past, but you can't change the present, because like basically if you're done with your semester and you're going forward, what are you going to do? You have to figure out what you're going to do next for the future. So you have to fix that pothole and not try to repeat another, like not dig another pothole in your following semester or classes or whatever it is in your life, you know. So it's not, you need, like, everybody needs to understand this. You as a person, you as an individual, you're given a brain to think, to figure out, to understand what's right and what's wrong, to know that everybody is not the same. We are all born differently. Even though we all share the same blood, we are all different. We all have our own life experiences that we come about with. It's not an easy life experience, especially with the society that we are living in. Breaking barriers could be very difficult, but I literally am guiding you. You know, there are so many things out there, especially for the next generation of children. There is just so many things outside there for you to actually figure out what's right and what's wrong. But unfortunately, if you do not take this as the right path, or you do not choose your path, there's no way in life that you're gonna success, or you are going to make it to wherever you want to be in life. You know, I'm not saying that education is gonna be everything, but education is something. You know, when you learn the hard way of studying, you learn the hard way of failing and embracing your life, your failures in education. You learn how to come up in your education. Do you know how much does it tell about somebody? It tells a lot, especially from somebody who comes with so much of life experience. Though I am just this young, I have seen a lot in my life. I have known what are the right and the wrong things. I have fallen into the wrong things. I've got influenced by the wrong people, but I did not let that determine my future. You know, I have always fixed my potholes, and I try not, and basically I do my best not to repeat those dig up potholes that I have fallen into in the past. Fixing your mistakes, understanding where you go and how you make it will show that people outside there is just not worth of you. You know, you're not worthy of anybody, because at the end of the day, you should be worth to yourself. You know, when you prove yourself that you are the best, you are best as in like you actually work hard and become the best. And when you show the people around you that who you are, how you have come up, the respect, the loyalty, the honesty, the understanding, the integrity, the determination, when you show the people around you your characteristics, your personality of all these things, that's how you slap a person to their face. You know, you outright them through intelligence, your wit, not your strength. Do not use your strength, your physical strength, to abuse somebody, or to call somebody deadbeat, or basically to call anybody anything. Okay, you do not have the right to call another person or another individual something when you yourself is working on it, because everybody, every day we are working on something. We are not just, we shouldn't be sitting down and just idling around and expecting things to fall out of nowhere and say things like, oh well, okay, I am just gonna sit here and be like, it's gonna come for me, my education, my grades. I don't have to work, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna go shopping, I'm gonna and go around and do whatever crack that I wanna do. You really think if you do all those things and you do not put in the extensive hard work and smartness into building yourself, you think you can actually achieve and become successful? You think millionaires came up in life out of nowhere? They appeared in thin air, like out of nowhere, like today I was poor and tomorrow I became a millionaire. Ooh, I'm showered with money. No. Okay. Life does not revolve around you. Life revolves around you when you show people around you what you are, what you're worth. You are proud of yourself. You need to be proud of yourself, of who you are, who the person that you build it, okay, from scratch. Okay, you need to build yourself first. You need to come and show and say, you know what, I'm this. How can you prove your words is through your actions? Okay, when I say that is when you study day and night, when you do something that gives back to the society, when you respect the people around you, when you show honesty to your loved ones, when you show all these things to the people around you, and eventually you become a student or a person that is A plus, that you're proud of, that you're saying like, oh my god, I've never expected that I would be this person. Oh my god, my life just changed from 0 to a 90 or 80. Nobody's perfect, yeah. That's another thing. We always have the misconception of saying like, you know what? We are all perfect human beings. Nobody's perfect. We all have flaws. We all have our weakness and strengths. We build ourselves as we grow old, okay? And then when we are almost towards our age of life is when we know, okay, you know what? We're still not 100, but at least we know we have done 98% of building ourselves when we were young, and we are ready to move on with our lives. And that's the time you're going to be so contented and you're going to be like, you know what? Whatever Aruni actually mentioned, right, is the truth. I am honestly not lying, right? Okay? I'm not lying at anybody. I'm telling you the facts and how I have gone through in life. It's just a crazy amount of waves that I've been through. But that did not ever stop me because, like I said, I have the 3 support systems in my life. It is not difficult to get hold of the 3 support systems when you're young. When you grow old, you start having midlife crisis, and then you feel like, you know what, I'm gonna die so soon because I am not worthy of it anymore. I need to, basically end my life or whatsoever. Well, you're not the only one in this world who thinks that they want to end their life. You're not that special. Everybody thinks that they want to end their life when they're young. But what's the use of ending your life? So, like I said, breaking the barrier is like a very wide very wide definition, but like but then it's all like how you determine it, how you want to break the barriers in your life. How do you not want to how do you want to break the cycles that's happening from generational to generational issues? That's how you break it. It's obviously, like, even I come from a generation that I'm breaking the cycle. Like, my parents, they did not go to tertiary education, right? But I'm breaking that cycle by going, I'm studying, I'm working hard. That's the reason why when I say that my parents are very strict, right? It's because they I've never understood this when I was much younger. I never understood where they're coming from, why they're telling me to study so hard to achieve, to get straight A's every day. I did not understand any of this. But as I grew older and I understood their financial stability, I understood the life that we live in. Basically, it's not an easy life anymore. You know, right now that we are living in, everything is super expensive. And it's important for somebody to get an education in order to get a good job, to break the cycle of this generational cycle that will help outgrow and help build better future, better leaders of the country, better society in a whole, you know. So this is why when I say like things like, okay, we need to understand, okay, though we say like, oh, we don't have to listen to our parents, well, it's not a choice, it's a must. Okay, you need to go sit with your parents, talk to them, ask them from what generation that they come from, what did they learn, like did they ever go for tertiary education, what's the reason behind their strictness, what's the reason that they how did they come up in life. When you hear their stories, right, especially from our parents, from our grandparents, you would realize how much of issues, how much of problems, how much of generational cycle that they have been going through in their lives to even give you food, give you shelter, to basically fulfill your basic needs. And even on top of that, your feeling of entitlement in fulfilling your wants and need and your so-called needs, you know, you never actually realize the hardships that they go through until you actually fall for it. Then you realize how bad it is. Like my parents, right? I always took them for granted when it comes to finances, right? I've always thought, you know what, they have a bunch of money. And you know, they could do anything for me, you know. But I did not realize this the minute I went into Sagi University, and I I told myself this, right? Like when I've told you all in previous videos about this. I didn't I literally realized that after failing so much in elementary, in high school, in my early years of tertiary education, I literally realized what I'm putting my parents into. I'm putting them into more financial debt. I am going, if I do not get a scholarship, if I do not get a loan from the government and eventually I can pay up the loan, I literally would I literally told us I'm going to quit my studies if I do not achieve this. You know, I worked day and night to achieve my goals and get a scholarship. And after getting that scholarship also, I worked so hard to fulfill it. It's not easy for me as a person, but I do not want to burden my parents. I do not want to feel like putting them into more financial issues until they grow much older, and I realize, what the hell have I done? Like, they have saved up their money for themselves, not for me. Okay, I this is the kind of person I am. I believe that my parents' money is my parents' money, my money is my money. Ain't nobody is entitled to their parents' money. We have two hands, two legs, a brain to think. We have everything that God has given us, and it's all up to us in achieving that, in using that. So if we want to become successful, we have to stand with our own 2 feet and prove the people around us is wrong, and show them that we are worth much more than they think that we are. My mother have always told me since I was young, right? Aruni, there's nobody around you. You need to work hard. You need to stand up with your 2 feet. Okay? Though you may have cousins, though you may have a bunch of family members, they are not going to be there around you. When during your difficult times, they're not going to be there around you. But during your when you are having something with you, that's the time everybody comes to you. And I believe that strongly. It does not only apply to family, it does not only apply to relatives, it does not only apply to our friends, it also applies to the society. The people that we are building ourselves around with. For instance, like when you are young, right? When you go to school, and then from there you meet your friends. When you grow older, you get influenced by another bunch of friends. When you go into university, when you go into tertiary education, you meet another bunch of people. When you go to work, you meet with another bunch of people. And then when you grow old, you meet with another bunch of friends. You have another bunch of people there. So what I'm trying to tell you is, as you get older and you get influenced by so many people, you're influencing yourself not only just with your parents, not only with your family members, not only with your relatives, but you're also mingling around with the society out there. So it's all up to you on how you break the barriers of being a successful person, and eventually showing people what you're worth of. I'm not saying that it applies for everybody. Not everybody can get into education, but always use your smartness. Everybody can build smartness. Okay? It's all up to you how you make yourself to be an intelligent person, how you work smart, how do you work hard in life. Education, yes. Education, if you have the money, you have everything, your parents are wealthy enough, or if you think you can get a loan, go ahead. Education is very, very important. But if, let's say, you really, really, really cannot ever afford, achieve your goals in some other way. But I'm not saying achieve your goals and go and do some crackpot kind of job and do some criminal sort of nonsense which will lead you in prison one day. Lead yourself to become into a good society. Go out and build a society that will become good. Next generation children are very, very important. I emphasize this a lot because the next generation children, they are the ones who go through so much of pain, especially so-called mental health issues that they go through because of their parents, their family. Just the society is bad in general, right? Nowadays, the society that we live in, nothing is good anymore. It's not like what our grandparents used to live back in the days. Those was different. That times was gone. Now it's a whole new different society that we need to understand, we need to develop on ourselves. If we cannot develop ourselves, we are not worth anything else. You know, having this brain and not using it, not using it in the right manner, not giving back to the community in the right way, is definitely going to haunt you one day. You know, believe me or not, you know, whatever you do now, you're going to suffer in the future if there's no right, if there's no right method, or there's no right ways. You know, like there need to be, you need to build the right ways, you need to build yourself in the right manner in order to build the right society. So it's not one person's hard work that builds a right society. It's not a one individual that builds the entire society. It's a bunch of people. There's so many people working together, you know, to build one nice, beautiful society out there. But first, like I said, work on yourself, work on your mental health, work on your development of life. You will see where you achieve. Believe me or not. Okay? So, this is the end of today's video. This is Aruni signing off. Peace.